Right, Israel? Yeah. Let's start and then like we did last time.
Yeah.
Someone read oh sorry, I have it. Anyway.
I've got it.
Oh, you got it. Proverbs 4 and 7. Then read it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 7. Yeah, I've got it this way. No.
Oh, yeah, read it.
Okay, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 7. And it reads, wisdom is the principal thing.
Right. Wisdom is the principal thing, right? Carry on out.
Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
And all that getting, get understanding, right? So if we read a little map, right, it will be wisdom, it will be knowledge plus understanding equal wisdom, right? And when we in this truth, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're seeking, all right? The understanding. Because think about it. Brothers have the Bible. Brother, read the Bible. Whether it's the King James version or the other version, they read the Bible, all right? If you're going to speak to a pastor now, he has an understanding of the Bible. I mean, he read the Bible, but what he lacks is the understanding. And that's the difference, and that's what's going on with brothers. Off camera, when we spoke to the brother earlier, he was about talking in tongue. He was talking in tongue. I said, brother, you can't do that because we come from that. And we cracked the code. But I used to do the same thing.
Right, that code's been cracked.
We cracked the code. So now we go to Act 2 now.
That's
explain
right.
to him that basically the tone, and can someone read Act 2 now? I just want to make a point. Act 2, read Act 2. Read the part where he say, and it's how you can speak in tongue, and then you go down and you read that part where you show the brother that was from other country that were there. So I just want to make a point about understanding. Right? So that's what we need in these days. Understand the word. All right?
So this is the book of Acts chapter 2 starting at verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come,
right, when the day of Pentecost was fully come,
they were all with one accord.
They were all in one accord. They were praying. They were like in a room.
All is one.
They're all in one, like we do every Saturday. Same spirit, right? Carry on.
In one place, verse 2. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven.
Right. So the Most High, he put it down. You know, he showed his power. All right. The Holy Spirit came down
as of a rushing mighty wind.
Right.
And it filled all the house where they were sitting.
Right.
Verse 3. And there appeared unto them cloven tongue.
Cloven tongue. So
like
as the cloven tongue, I say to my brother, I say, listen, pay attention to the cloven tongue. But it will explain something. All right? Now jump down to where you say, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem.
Yeah. Verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, Yahweh, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
All right.
Verse 6. Now, when this was noised abroad, in other words, when this was spoken to people abroad, when it was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded.
Right.
Because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
So I say to the brother that tongue, you see, when you read the Bible, all you have to do is read it. If you don't understand something on top, carry on reading, and the Bible explains itself. So it did explain the tongue.
Exactly.
When you go, you don't have to carry on. When you go down, it tells you that all the brothers from Parthians,
I'll read
Jews,
it from 8. Let me
read
from
it.
7. So,
I'm just making a point.
Yeah. So this is Acts chapter 2 and verse 7.
The reason why the brother was making a point, because the brother was saying something to us, and all of a sudden he went to
He wants to do the vocal song. I'm like, no, you ain't doing it again.
But that was the spirit. That was the spirit. The spirit bugged him out.
Right, we're going to explain to you what it means.
That was a spiritual bug out.
All right?
Verse 7. And they were all amazed. Let me read that again.
And we were amazed.
Verse 7. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, a Now, not all these would speak
Right.
Galilean.
So my point is this: when you read the Bible, the understanding is right there. It talks about other tongues, and then when it comes down, it tells you that basically that tongue meaning like the apostle under the anointing, that's how to speak other language. And the reason why they were kind of surprised because these are Galilean, man. These are street, these are ghetto.
Galilee was a ghetto.
Don't only Brixton and
That's right, that's
so they
right.
speak the local tongue, but how? They never been to school to learn these other languages, so how they speak it?
Right.
And just to add, there was an apostle, and he was told about the Christ, about Hamashiach, and he said, can anything good come out of Galilee?
Right,
So
right.
that's just to let you know that Galilee is like Tottenham, it's the end, it's like the Bronx.
So,
Anything good come out.
right. That's
That's
they
right.
don't know the other languages. So my point is this. We understand by reading the words what that other tongue means, but the brother didn't understand. So that's what makes it, in this truth, that's what makes the difference. That's why brothers will look at a brother and think that, I'm just saying that because I'm from West Africa, and a brother will look at a brother from West Africa and say that you're a Hamite, lack of understanding.
That's right.
And also that lack of understanding is linked to not being spiritual. Because when you come in this truth, one thing you have to do is to work on the old man. I'm speaking for myself first.
Mortify your
That's my
members.
challenge every day, right?
That's right.
When you do that, you become spiritual, man.
That's
so
right.
now, when you become spiritual, it's easy for you to have understanding. But if you don't pray, if you don't keep the Most High first, then we have situations like that. Someone that comes with robo thinking that that's a tongue. All right? So I wanted to make a point on that. Understanding is key in this truth. It's not about being in the truth and saying that I'm a Hebrew Israelite. It's about understanding.
It's bigger than that.
Understanding prophecy, for example. We are right now in a situation, I got a brother telling me, how do you know? Because every 100 years, there's a plague. So I say now,
it's about that, yeah.
through the prophecy, we can know that we are at the end because we're not talking about the chip. They're bringing that chip system in place. So you can look at that because in no other centuries before that, they had that situation.
They didn't even have the technology in our
But now we have, so how do you measure the time? By having understanding. So this is the time for us to have understanding more than anything, man. That's what I wanted to bring.
So let's open up. So we're going to give all praises to Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahushai, Waha, Rafa, Kodash.
the double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the rule and teach well, and the Achims of the Iris and Byris and those who videos in truth and sincerity.
Right.
To the brothers and sisters in the truth. You still got that Proverbs. It's going to lead right into the next. Yeah. Brothers saying we need to have understanding, and it's true. Because
Oh, but you didn't read the Proverbs 40? Oh, you read it?
Yeah,
I want to read it again because it's going to lead straight into what Malaka's going to read. It's Proverbs 2 and 7.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 7.
What does the scriptures teach? The scriptures teaches that we got tribulation and problems coming up. And there's ways to deal with certain situations when they come. It says, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. So when certain situations come your way, and what I'm talking about, one of the elders showed a video.
Read it first and then bring it out.
Yeah. No,
See them one? But they don't come.
we can't allow you.
Oh, good Josh Rana.
It's up.
Good to see you, lots of
As always. Yeah, shut. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Brother. I'm happy to see you. Happy to see you too. For real, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
That's church. Let's go.
you bring Proverbs 4.
Yeah, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
And it reads, wisdom is the principal thing.
Now, in the world, there's all kind of wisdom. Like, you have to give it to Esau. Esau's got wisdom. The only difference is he used it on the left-hand side.
He's using it.
We're being given wisdom to learn how to do it on the right-hand side. It says wisdom is a principal thing. What's principal? That's the main
The
thing.
primary, the
the
first.
primary.
Yeah.
But,
The most important.
but alongside that wisdom, this is the key thing here. Go on.
Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get
Get
wisdom.
wisdom. Nothing wrong with having knowledge and understanding. Get wisdom.
And with all thy getting,
Says with all that you're getting,
get
now,
understanding.
understanding means comprehension.
Comprehension.
Yeah,
That's right.
comprehension, as the Prophet would say.
When Spanish they say comprende.
Yeah, comprende. So this is what we're trying to say. There's times that's coming up. There's hard times that's coming up. And in those times you need to use wisdom and understanding. Now, the reason why I bring this up, the reason why I bring this up, because one of the elders showed a video of a particular brother, diligent, doing the work, but then the police come up.
Nakwam.
Nine.
No, they don't know that name. Anyway. They know the other one.
Okay, yeah. So now the police come up, and in situations, sometimes it's good to just read that.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly.
It says, agree with your adversary quickly. It's not
And
always,
that's a note.
yeah,
So lucky right there. Quickly.
it's not always good to be bucking up and giving it the why and the hit buts and the babies. Sometimes just, it's like, remember during the lockdown, me and you was out there, and the police them come up, they said, oh, you need to go. So we said to them, you know what, give us 5 minutes. Now they gave us the 5 minutes, and we didn't take liberties with that, but if they said no, would you just packed up and left? Agree with your adversary quickly, God. Because sometimes you're going to be bringing unnecessary problems on your head, innit? And you don't really need that. Like, you got enough problems coming anyway.
Yeah, why add to it?
Yeah, why add to it, man?
Matthew chapter 5 verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly whilst thou art in the way with him. Lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge.
And this is what happened. The brother got himself arrested. Now, there was no need for him to get arrested. And, you know, most I willing, the brother got out safely. But that could have been avoided by just agreeing with your adversary quickly. They said, move on. Just move on. Don't go to another area and teach. Like, it's a big world, man. It's a big area. Like, just move on. And I've seen brothers do that where you want to be telling them, oh, you're my adversary, or just argue for no reason. Just because this is their kingdom at the end of the day. The Most High put them in the position they're in. Yeah, in the kingdom, then you can be after what you're talking to. Yeah, but right about now, just agree with the adversary quickly. There's wisdom behind that, believe it or not. Because there's going to come a time where they're not even going to give you the chance to agree with them.
That's the point.
Yeah?
Just want to say what the prophet said, because you got to realise right about now, like if you look at a knife, they're holding the handle and we're holding the blade.
That's right.
That's right.
That's it in a nutshell.
You're going to cut yourself for no reason when you can avoid that cut. Yeah, we know.
And the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison.
Like, sometimes we end up in these situations when it can be avoided. When all you had to do is that, all right, no problem. It's okay.
Apply wisdom. That's it.
Apply wisdom, man. So read that Proverbs 4 again.
Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7. And it reads, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding.
Yeah, if I can say it, that's the main thing, man, comprehension, because when they come to you, what you want to be tough for? And brothers that think that they know the law, let me tell you something. In that day, the law won't mean nothing, man.
Right.
Right? The law won't mean nothing. When they come to you, when they come to you like, officer, you want us to move? Don't give us 5 minutes. Don't try and be a hero, man. Because the Irish already paid the price for us, man.
Actually, the word is martyr. And a martyr is a dead apostle or
don't
dead
be a martyr or a hero, whatever. Martyr is you don't have to be wise. But the Bible says, I did send you amongst wolves, be ye wise as serpent and harmless as doves. Hey, if the Most High put His Spirit on you in that time and you're ready to go with that spiritual power on them, so be it. But before, be nice, be wise, be cool. And I will say this: if the police come, we can't be doing what we're doing like sometimes when we talk, obviously, brother can be talking, I can be talking, you can be talking. We're going to have a designated one that will go through the Spirit and speak to them. And the other one will stay on the side and we just look. All right. When you go over there, don't try to be all of this and no.
Charlie Big Bullets.
Just be good. If there's a complaint, tell me, listen, we read it out of the Bible. And I'm sure the Bible is written as well. People swear upon it in the court system and that. So that's all we're doing. But if you think that, we're causing trouble, do you want us to move? Like, be wise. I remember when we were in our church of Yahweh Shai at Shanghai, but that was the first time when they came, and there's a brother that told one of the officers, Deuteronomy 22 and 5. And that was a bad move, but luckily, they left. So after that, Asham was like, when they come, you go and talk to them. And that's why you should tell them to say, it's not about English, it's about the spirit. It's about how you, instead of me saying, we understand, you want us to move, we're going to move, don't worry, we're not here to cause trouble. Just have a human being like us, innit? If you're respectful, they'll be like, don't worry, okay, well, how long are you going to be here? Well, as soon as we're done, we're good. And then if we have to move now, we're going to have to move. We can't be staying. If we come to it, we don't have to stay here. If we come to it, we go somewhere. Let's be wise, man.
That's right.
Because to be honest with you, without the power of the Most High on us, we are dead.
That's right.
And some of us will die anyway. So bear that in mind. This is a serious thing for people who feel that the truth is a joke thing. They can just come in unaware, trying to be slick, trying to be a nigger. Very soon you will find out that this is a serious thing, man. If you think that Black Panther was a threat, wait until that time comes, you will see that we're the real threat. But we're talking about taking down a kingdom. But this is serious. We're gonna have to be wise. That's what I want to say.
Spirit. That's why Amalek made that Wakanda movie in the first place. That Black Panther movie. That's when they made it, because they're showing our power. But if you notice, in the end of the movie, what did he do? He went to the UN and he gave the UN all his technology. So which means the movie's showing that we should follow Esau, because that's what he did, right? But actually, no, we're not doing that. We're following Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
We're doing it against the grain, man. And also, before you carry it out, I just want to add up to this. There's a movie called Black Messiah.
Yeah.
That just came out about the black man. That's showing how we got infiltrators, man. You gotta understand, in each camp, there may be an agent. You don't know.
It was called COINTELPRO.
Whatever, and then basically they're gonna take information. But basically, that's all you know about me is that I love women and I'm in the truth. That's all you know about me. What else do you know about me? That's it. But you gonna go and tell him that he loves women. They love women too. We don't want to tell him that all he talks about is the Bible. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, in the Bible and more. What else? Alright, so we have to be careful. That's when brothers come, obviously we know the brother through the spirit. We know his brother. We know the other guy. We don't doubt his brother. His brother have the right spirit and he come for a while. He's gonna have to join the camp. That's where he's going. If he comes here all the time, after a while, the most are willing, he's going to have to join the camp, because this is not ours, This is the job. This is the most are doing this thing. Alright, we don't block anyone. If you got the right spirit, you want to do this, you are more than welcome to do this. Because the most has built its own army.
That's right.
We just students, we just warriors and vessels.
We're poor.
Whatever the most I do with power.
We're avatars to the Holy
So
Spirit.
my point is this: let's be spiritual, man. Let's do everything through the spirit. Then the most I will work in them. But if you want to do things according to Esau or Connolly or whatever, it's not going to work. Like the youngin say, it's not gossip. All right, it's not going to work.
It's not gossip.
It's not gossip. All right,
Yeah. Bring out Matthew 26. Because what's going to happen? There's going to come a time, like we said, that agreeing with your adversary team ain't going to work. They're just going to come. But you have to use wisdom, man. Don't try and force the spirit unnecessarily. 26 and 48.
Yeah, Matthew chapter 26, verse 48. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he.
And that's the same thing that the Bible was talking about the enemy within. Yeah? That COINTELPRO. That's what Judas was doing. Yeah? That's going to happen. Yeah? If it hasn't happened already to some brothers. Yeah? These are things we have to expect.
Hold him fast. Verse 49. And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, "Hail, Master," and kissed him. Verse 50. And Yahushua said unto him, "Friend, wherefore art thou come?" Then came they, and laid hands on Yahushua and took him.
And that's what's going to happen to some of us. Yeah, they're going to come and take you. Like Yahushua didn't buck up and like, what, who you want?
Yeah. Yahushua said this when the guy came like, I'm paraphrasing because someone reminded me that it was saying like, if because the Most High wants you to, he gave you that power. Yeah, because he gave you that power, you can come to me. Because you can't come to me. I remember when the centurion come to the Most when Yahushua at some point. When Yahushua he just spoke. Them guys fell
backwards, stumbled backwards.
I am E.
Right.
I am E.
Imagine his voice, man. That big Judah voice.
That's right.
Could you read the last line that you read just now before? The last line.
Verse 50. And Yahushua said unto him, "Friend, wherefore art thou come?"
Right, stop. Can I read this now? This is the book of Job, chapter 1, and verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, "Whence comest thou?"
Right, all right. I've got a precept, right? It's Isaiah 59 and 19, right? Regarding what's going on right now, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be scared. Right? At the end of the day, we shouldn't be scared because it was all written. So I want to read a precept to show what the Most High is doing. Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh.
And that's what we should really fear. Yahushua told you in Matthew 10:28. Don't fear. Let me put this in. Matthew 10. 28 says, "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." And that's it. This is who you should be fearing. Yeah, again, my brother.
Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord.
And what's one of the best ways to decrease your fear? Increase your faith. Increase your faith in the Most High, and your fear for situations will go down. Because you know who's got you. Who the real power is, man.
And also you know who has orchestrated all this.
That's right.
That's the main point you have to be aware of.
That goes back to that Proverbs 4 and 7. Understanding. Because everything that happens, the brother reads it at the end of every Sabbath, man. Man's going off the Lord. Yeah. So if you know that it's the Most High that's orchestrating everything, what is there to really fear? That's why the scripture says, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times."
Someone need to bring that as well.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Bring that one. Let me read that one. Yeah? So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun.
Yeah, meaning everywhere, man. This is what it's coming back to at the end of the day. You see, like what happened out of when we were delivered out of Egypt. Everybody feared the name of Yahweh back then. And this is what's coming back. And he's going to do it for his name's sake. That's what the scripture teaches. He does it for his name's sake because we polluted his name amongst these heathens. Yeah?
When the enemy shall come. When the enemy shall come.
Just let you know that there's people that's going to come against you. So don't
we know who the enemy is anyway.
You know, don't force the hand. It's going to come anyway. So if you have the opportunity to agree with your adversary, agree with your adversary.
Because the time will come when you won't be able to agree. That's coming for you. Coming at 4 o'clock in the morning while you're sleeping.
As a flood as well.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a flood. And the flood is army. And there's a precept in the Bible. Remember when we were studying Revelation 12? I brought a precept, I forgot. We're talking about the army, the Old Testament, the army, like the flood is the army, but don't worry about it. Right? So he said, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, meaning the army will come. Then people will come forward. That's a fact. So know why you're in this truth. You gotta know why you're in this truth, man. Alright? Because the time will come, if you're not strong in this truth, like the brother say, faith. Strength means faith. It's not your own strength. It's the faith of the Most High on you. Don't be
rely on your
laughing at
own
them, man.
understanding.
When I come to you, the Spirit on you, won't be laughing at them. When I say laughing, like what we doing, man?
Be fearless.
That's why we say, when you read Revelation 3 and 10, it talks about the hour of temptation being, delivered in that time. It's not always a case of him taking you out of the situation. So most of them put the spirit on him and say, you know what?
Sure.
Don't fear.
I wish I had the book. There's a book called Hebrewism. I have it at home. Hebrewism in West Africa.
West Africa,
right?
yeah.
The Koromanti are the Jamaican. A lot of them, when they're being captured by Esau, yeah, when they're being burned, they'll be laughing, they'll be talking.
There's a video you can see on YouTube where they struck a bag of flipping Northern. They were hanging them. And the guy said, the way these brothers just walked up to these guillotines, to these nooses, like, there was no fear to how they were just walking to their death.
So I'm gonna say this right. These ones, they were carnal. Yeah, they were carnal brothers. Although we all know that Northern tribe and then they have the spirit of warrior in them, but they were carnal. So what about you that the spirit will visit that day? What will you do? Have you ever thought of that? That's why the spiritual power is not too far-fetched. Anyway, let me tell you. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him, right? Standard is like an escape route. That's one. Standard is the power of the Most High. It's the guarantee that the Most High gives you. Because he's gonna that's why he's gonna make them make a move. That's why it's okay. We should welcome the agent and that. We should welcome the controversy because the Most High is waiting on these two elements to show his power, man. Can someone get John 17 and 6? That's how powerful this thing is, man. John 17 and 6. That's what Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai had a prayer. He had a prayer for the elect, man. Can you imagine Yahweh Shai praying for the elect? Read it.
Because he came in the volume of the book. So
Read it.
Book of John.
Let me see what he says. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The book of John, chapter 17 and verse 6. And it reads, I have manifested thy name unto the men, which thou gavest me out
First
of
of all,
the
you
world.
got one indicator, man. It's not okay not knowing the name. I mean, I love my brothers, whoever don't want to say the name or getting it wrong, but hopefully the Most High will give you the spirit that time for you to get the name, but it's important to know the name because it reveals his name. And the power behind it too is elect. Carry on.
Take it to the top again.
Yes.
Top again, yeah? John chapter 17 and verse 6. And it reads, I have manifested thy name unto the men, which thou gavest me out
Which thou
of the
gavest
world.
me out of the word. And we know that the word, the Israelite word, the world.
Yeah.
So we know that, you know, like we pronounce it. I don't pronounce like you know. That's right. But, the word, obviously, it's the Israelite world, right? But out of the Israelite, it took certain people, and those are the elect. Read it.
Thine they were, and thou gavest them me.
Right, so we are Yahweh Shai's, man. So Yahweh Shai will come, as Isaiah 56 saying he will come, with a fire, man, like a whirlwind to plead with another nation. And you think that Yahweh Shai will forget about us? We out there preaching the word, we're bringing the word. There's one about, there's one that says, no one should. I say no one should be able to touch them. There's a precept saying that Yahweh Shai says no one should be able to touch them. You get what I'm saying? You know that one?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Just remember where it is.
Right, let's carry on. It was just a precept. I see it.
Oh, there was a just a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have kept thy word.
Right, they kept our word. That's how we read 2nd Ezra 2 and 43. Talking about those who will stand stiffly.
Yes, this is stiffly.
Stood stiff is the same thing. All right.
Verse 9.
Verse 9 of John chapter 17. I pray for them. I pray not for the world,
That's what I was looking for.
but for them which thou hast given me. For they are thine.
So the Most High has us, man, at the end of the day. And Yahweh Shai is there praying for us. You know, reasoning with the Most High, like if we fall, Father, forgive them. You know, but you have to be doing the will of the Most High. You need to have faith that the Most High is.
Oh, yes, brother.
You need to have faith that the Most High is going to do these things. Yeah, man. You need to have faith that the Most High is going to do these things for you, man. That's why it says wisdom and knowledge.
I'll read that.
Yeah,
That's a very important point as well. And that's what will get us, man. Like I said earlier, you know, knowledge plus plus understanding equal wisdom. It's not just having the knowledge, it's understanding the knowledge you have, and then that will give you the wisdom. But read that, that's a very important key, man. That's Isaiah 33:6. That's very important, man. And that's what we need to be on right now.
that's right.
You know?
Isaiah 33:6 says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time.
Right, so that's the time we're living now. What is stability? When is someone is stable? What does it mean? Someone,
Means you have a solid foundation.
that's it.
That's right.
Why do you have a strong foundation? Because you understand the prophecies. You know it's. We read Isaiah 59, right, and 19. Right, read it. Go to it.
School again, sorry.
Isaiah 59 and 19. Get that before we move on. Then you will understand why we brought Isaiah 33 and 19.
Yeah, original.
Just read that. One of you should read it, man. Read it.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord
Right.
from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit.
Hold on, brother, need to listen.
Yeah, that's fine.
Listen.
Listen. Salakia, brother. When you read it, can you read the chapter and the verse too?
Of course. Isaiah 58,
59.
59 verse 19.
Right.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord
So
from
shall
the
they fear
west,
the name of the Lord from the west.
and his glory from the rising of the sun.
Right.
Which it is.
When the enemy shall come in like a
When
flood.
the enemy shall come, so we were saying earlier, my brother, what's his name again? Daniela. We were saying that they're coming for us, and the people there, they're coming for us. So we were saying that as they come for us, the Most High will read it.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord. Sorry, this is Isaiah 59 verse 19. So they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood,
Right?
the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him.
Right, so he will lift up a standard against the enemy. Now, how do you stay firm? That's Isaiah 33 and 6. Now someone can read it. Read Isaiah 33 and 6.
Isaiah 33:6 says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability
Right.
of thy times.
That's right. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time. So you understanding the word. You understanding through the prophecy when you read when you read Revelation 2 and 10, what does he tell you? He tells you that do not be afraid. Because I'm paraphrasing, you don't be afraid, but they will come for you. Alright? They might throw you in there. Read it. So we know we know the prophecy, we know they're coming already.
But wait, my brother, what we're talking about is you know, like, there's a brother who got himself arrested, and I'll say kind of unnecessarily. All you have to do, the scripture say, agree with thy adversary quickly. Yeah. Now, there's gonna come a time where agreeing ain't gonna help you. Yeah, but it's to have wisdom and knowledge to understand when to do what.
To rightfully
You know what I'm
discern the
saying?
time.
So this is
Read that.
Revelation 2 and 10.
Yeah.
It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Fear none of those things. We already know that it's coming. So that's your stability right there. Because you know that it's coming. Not only you know what's coming, but you know the outcome of it.
And that word standard in Isaiah 59, that's when you look it up, means a way out.
Get away plan that the Musa has for you. So you won't be touched. But even if you're touched by Esau, hey, there's another.
Fear none of those
The
things,
Bible
man.
say that you will come back. You will come back. You will resurrect. You'll be the first to resurrect when Yahweh come back.
That's a faith again, man.
Come on, man. Yeah.
So it says, Revelation 2:10 says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Right.
Because the scripture says through much tribulation you're going to enter into the kingdom.
That's right.
Yeah, it says, behold, the devil shall, you don't say might or maybe, it says the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
Now, I'd like to ask this to the Christian. Who's that devil? Is the spiritual devil come and pick you up and put you in the jail? No, it's that devil we're talking about.
That old
serpent. The deceiver. Who deceived Esau?
Who's ruling this
Esau.
world right now?
All right, they're the one that come to your yard and pick you up anyway on a daily basis in captivity. So that's what they're gonna do. But they're gonna come and pick you up because you were shot in somewhere in the alley. They'll pick you up because of misunderstanding.
Actually, let me quickly bring that. This is Second
That's what's gonna
Ezra
happen.
16.
Stability, you shouldn't fear. That's your stability because you know, that's supposed to happen to me anyway.
Revelation 12.
But the Most High will show, the Most High might give you spiritual power. How about that? What if the Most High give you spiritual power once they get you in wherever they have you? Have you ever thought of that?
I haven't, to be honest.
You have to meditate on this thing, man. You have to meditate on the fact that the Most High can give you power to slap them up. Some brothers will slap Esau up. You know Hancock, like you know the superpower style. King Kong, like when they're coming with the power. But the Bible will say that one will go against 100 and 100 will go against 1,000.
This is the Revelation 12 and 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman who went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Right.
Those are the ones that the devil is really coming for.
So read that part what he said, and there wasn't afraid.
Yeah, I'm going back to that. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. So it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
That's right.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. That's what it is at the end of the day. See those that's going to stand stiffly for the word of the Most High.
Right.
And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, a period of time. Be thou faithful unto death.
Right.
So regardless of what is standing in front of you, when you look at 2 Maccabees 7, when it talks about the 7 brothers and their mom, they were all faithful unto death. None of them didn't speak raw. Look, imagine you see 6 of your brothers, you're number 7 now, you see 6 of them get killed in all different manner. It could have been easy for you to say, well, yeah, just put a bit of salt on the pork. You know what I'm saying? No. The last one still ended up casting them out. And then you got the mom now, you watch all your children them being put to death. She could have easily have said, well, that's right.
And even Eliezer.
That's right. Yes, before. So that's why it says, these are faithful unto death. Why? Because no one really dies before their time. And if you're to die,
That's right.
I saw this video, yeah, this guy, he jumped off some building. There's nothing around there too like it. At least twice the size of that. He jumped off, thinking he was gonna kill himself. He was on the floor.
Twisted up and still alive.
Still alive! Where a man would jump 2 foot and dead. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
There's a guy that jumped out of the plane and the parachute didn't open. And it was being videoed and he didn't die.
You see? So if it's for you to, I remember as a youth, yeah, in Jamaica we used to eat the blossom, well I used to eat the blossom from the apple tree. And I remember dropping out the tree. Now I remember clearly when my back then was eating the branches, it just felt like that. I was like, no. And when I landed there was a stone there and I caught my lip and bust my lip. See that? But like, if it's for you, like I've come out of some scrapes, my brother. So if no one died before their time, so that's why it says, be faithful unto death, car. If you're gonna die, let me grab on Daniel 9, 12 and 2. Yeah, if you're gonna die, it's the most sign that causes you to die. Psalms 37. Yep, you've got Daniel 12 and 2.
This book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 2. And it reads, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
So one thing I say is that we all say, if you're gonna die, there's one or two ways. It says 6 million ways to die, choose one. No, you only have two ways. Either in the truth or out the truth. That's right. Yeah? Choose one. Good.
Some to everlasting life.
So if you die in the truth, you're gonna be risen to everlasting life. Good.
And some to shame and
If
everlasting
you die out the truth, shame and everlasting
contempt.
So which one do you want?
Can you call that verse again?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 2.
Yeah? So the option is there. So this is why it says, these are faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. That's a crown of life.
Also, when we talk about a death, it doesn't mean necessarily you will die. It means that be faithful till the end.
That's right, that's right.
And die if you have to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But be faithful. Like, don't half step. Just now you see the pressure coming now. You're trying to run away from it. Don't do that. Stay strong. And if you die, you're going to have your crown anyway. But if you don't die, but the Bible do say that some won't see death. Right? So you've got the power that will go against Esau, that will have the spiritual power. And you've got those that will die. But in any case, you are blessed, even in death, because guess what? When Yahweh shall come back, you'll be the first one to resurrect. Alright? At the end of the day, we need the kingdom. Whether you die or you make it, you're going to be in the kingdom anyway. And he read the Daniel 12 and 2. The eternal contempt, right? Let's read that again. Daniel 12 and 2. Let's explain it. Let's explain it. Okay. And when you do that again, I'm going to sit down. Nah, I can't sit there. I can't. He's not right. Yeah.
Here we go. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 2. And it reads, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
And listen, what did it say? Sleep. Because when you're in this truth, you don't die, you go to sleep. Yeah, when you're in the world, you're dead. You know what I'm saying?
That's
In
very
this
good point,
truth, you go to
because
sleep.
you know the Bible is always double meaning. So you got the first meaning where those who slept, died in the truth. Alright? No, not even died in the truth. Those were destroyed because the tooth will be destroyed by whatever's sword. It could be the vaccine, it could be the war, it could be the fire that's coming. Alright? That's the 2/3, right? And then you've got read that part again, which is sleep. That's the 2/3.
And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth.
Right, so that means that's all the 2/3. Those right now who don't mind not being in the time. Basically they're blind and they love it. Alright, they sleep. Because the Bible talks about that in Ezekiel 37. Right, and Proverbs. So carry on that. The congregation of death.
Shall awake. Shall awake.
Shall awake.
Some to everlasting life.
So in the kingdom, there will be two categories of jakes. There will be the elect, and there will be the 2/3. So think about it. If the other nation are able to come back to be slave, why would the 2/3 not come back? They're gonna have to come back. Why? Because it will make sense to them. Finish it. I will explain it. I will explain why it will make sense.
And some to shame and everlasting
See,
contempt.
that's that shame. So while they see, like they say, balling, when they see you on top, They are the bottom. And listen to me. There's books, you know. Our life, there are books about us. And when we get in the kingdom, we remember everything. So you will see people and you will know, oh, these were the brothers that were. So we will be involved. Involved means you get all your senses, all your spiritual power. You can read mind. You can see the past. You can understand a lot of things, a lot of depth. But that's what Adam had. And through sin, we lost that, right? So in the kingdom, there will be people that are at the bottom, man. The two-foot, they're at the bottom. They're regular chicks, they're at the bottom, and they see you balling. But the difference is, in this kingdom, you can be at the bottom, but tomorrow you will see yourself at the top. But over there, set them.
That's everlasting.
Everlasting shame and contempt. So they will be regretting forever why they keep praying like that. They will be okay though, because the Most High is merciful. The Most High is merciful. They'll be fine compared to the other nation. But the glory that you're gonna have, they'll be like, wow, I wish I followed the word. I wish I kept the law, man. But that will be the least carry on.
Revelation 20 and 12 says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works.
According to their works.
So it says, verse 13.
But that judgment ain't gonna be in the Shemayim. I mean, that judgment will take place in the Shemayim, but ultimately we have to believe on earth. Because when you look at it, you know, when you die, you go to the heaven, you went to Shemayim, the heaven, you sit in one
Your
bed,
spirit goes.
and your spirit gets over there, and then after a while you go to the court, you go to court, because Yahweh is in charge. Sit down and he brings back your life. He say, yo, you live like a fool, man. So this is your judgment when you come back. Yeah, no, right now, right? We close to the kingdom, right? So what do you think the judgment of the people will be when they go into Shemayim? That will be the least. That's what he says in Matthew 5. Does someone get the Matthew 5?
Everlasting.
That will be the least. That's the judgment. When they go over there, the Most High will tell them, listen, because you didn't keep the word, you will be the least in the kingdom. And the elect, they will take the kingdom. Meaning they'll be ruling. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's something to consider, man. Do you want to be a regular chick? Because to be a regular chick, it's not going to be. It's not going to be now. When you see the dimension of balling that the elect will display, bro, you better think twice before. You better make the right move before it's too late. Don't say, oh, I'm going to be okay anyway. I'm a Jake anyway. No. So why would the Bible say eternal shame and contempt? That means something. Because the Most High is bad, you know. The Most High, they got something for them. All right? Yeah, what are we reading?
Matthew 5.
Yeah, Matthew 5, so the brother can understand what I meant. 17 or 19, I believe. 19. Yahweh is God, man. Yahweh is not to be played with. It's not to be played with. Bring it out.
Yeah. James chapter 1, verse 12.
Go.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Right.
For when he is tried,
Right.
he shall receive the crown of life.
And part of that temptation is how you deal with these situations. Are you gonna bow when trial, you know, when trials and tribulation come up? You know, are you gonna bow to what Esau says, or are you gonna hold fast to the word? You know,
And
this is
also
what
right
you have to
now, it's a
consider.
simple. It's like right now, it's simple. Look, if you're in a situation where you used to shop, right? And you don't have money.
That's
And then the brother comes. Because before, you have to look at things from the right perspective. I'm gonna bring it up, and then I'll carry on.
Yeah, let me bring it up. So it's based on what you just said. So say the last verse of what you just
Okay, I'll go just read it again.
Yeah, read it again.
James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which Yahweh hath promised to them that love him.
Right. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 10. So this is a precept we brought out before, where it matches the precept we just brought. Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, the deceiver,
That's right.
shall cast some of you into prison, that he may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So it's actually explaining what the crown is.
But he explained it in second Ezra and 43.
But remember, it's also when the Bible says tribulation 10 days, remember a year, a day is like a year to the Most High. So bear that in mind.
No, it just remember. It's just a
Yeah,
period of
it's just
time.
that period of time. Doesn't literally mean 10 days. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's a
12
period of
months,
time.
you know, and that from the life is very important to understand because actually a reward. That's what it
right.
means. The crown of life, what does it mean life? What is life? What is the opposite of life? So if you can't die, what do you become? The crown of life. So that crown will allow you to be eternal, to be immortal. And when you're immortal, you know what comes with it? The kingdom, you're not dying, you being powerful, you being able to read minds, you being able to have
You'll be able to
1,000 women and you're not tired. Because we know in this kingdom 2 women is too much. Sometimes one is much, but over there it's perfection. So I want the crown of life, man. Alright, so that's what it means. The crown of life, meaning you're gonna be immortal. So if you persevere, so don't be taken by what Esau do when he come for you, man. But that's temporary. All right? Bring your arm up, bro.
Say in 1 Peter 5, 1 Peter chapter 5.
Let's read it.
It says the chief shepherd will give you a crown that
Let's
never
read it.
fades
Let's find
away.
it and read it.
That's right.
First Peter 5.
And while it's getting that too, I just want
My
to
sister,
ask.
you like what you're hearing, innit?
Any questions?
Come here, come.
Come closer.
So what do you want to know about the truth? Because we are here for our people. We're here for our people. And you're here like Jamaican, so you're more likely to be from the tribe of according to the Bible. So if you want to ask a question, you're more than welcome. But if you want to listen, you're more than welcome. Right? Because trust me, you want to know the truth. You want to have the truth because it's coming. Every king and we got that one. That's the Apocrypha. And the Apocrypha used to be in the Bible before the 1990s. You can still get it on Amazon. You can still get it on Amazon.
Not be unequally yoked together.
So what's
1 Peter 5 verse 4.
Oh yeah.
It's 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 4. When the chief shepherd shall appear, he shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away.
And that chief shepherd is Yahweh Shai.
He's the one that's going to give you that crown.
But that's what you said, carry on.
And the key thing about it says that don't fade away. Everything in this world that you try to achieve, at some point it's going to go, man.
Because it's temporary,
That's
man.
right, it's temporary. There's nothing in this world that
This
is worth fighting
crown
for.
is corruptible. The crown today, crown means money, crown means status, crown means being on top. Is corruptible. You want uncorruptible
Because
crown.
then you go to Daniel chapter 7, it said, these 4 kings, it said on top of their heads were crowns or something like that.
That's what I've been trying to bring out. I mean,
crowns represent
being interrupted, but that's what I was trying to bring out. That crown represents rulership, leadership, and also a head of.
kingdom, the domicile of the king, dominion of kings. That's where the kingdom comes from.
Didn't the Bible say that we're a nation of kings and priests?
Yeah.
And didn't the Bible say as well? Yeah, I wish I say there's many mention in my father's yard. Do you know what that means?
Revelations 5 verse
People don't even know how many. Do you think the earth is? Do you think the earth is enough for us?
I mean, there's many habitable
So why do you
planets.
think Elon Musk wanna go to the the other planets. That means something, right? They're always trying to be like us. They're trying to be like us, man. Right. You're gonna be here, right? And then you're gonna be flying in it because there's a precept in, I believe, Isaiah 60 when it talks about who are those flying. That's not talking about the angels. That's talking about the elect. Because think about it, the angel right now, what is the cost? What is the cost? What is the right? The UFO. The chariot, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get some sort of chariot as well. Because if you're gonna live in the next planet, how do you get there? But those are things that people cannot understand, man. It's too big. Because we live in poverty. I live in a state. Wake up in the morning in the ghetto, man. How do I understand that the most I can do these things? Bring it out, my brother. You want to say something?
Yeah, when it says as birds flying, so the Lord of hosts defends Jerusalem, that's the chariots.
Right.
But then there's a scripture that says they shall mount up as eagles' wings.
That's right.
They shall run and not get tired.
That's right.
You got that as well.
That's the spiritual power.
That's right.
Right, you got that, but I've got another one to talk about. Who are those?
I know the one.
I think it's Isaiah 60, if I can find it. That who are those who are flying heaven? It was talking about, when you read it before, talking about us now in the kingdom. Talking about the beauty of the elect in the kingdom. And right after that precept came out, I'm like, oh, so I clocked that one like, so are they talking about, are they saying that we're going to be riding in them chariots? It's not too far-fetched, because if I have to go to the next planet to see my brother Abadiah, or Raban, or Yasharala, or the brother Maraka, or King Dawada, or from you brothers, you're in the planet chilling with 10,000 and 1,000 women, bare children,
That's right.
all the blessings
Yeah,
and
there's a scripture
that.
that
How
says
do I
that
get there? I have to take the chariot, man. So this is where we're going with this. It's not a joke thing, all right? We used to be like that, man.
If I can as well, that's the spirit as well, because last week, the last thing you said was next week, Lord willing, we can ask some questions at the end
Oh
about
yeah,
what you want.
definitely. Bring it out, man.
Straight
This
away
is
in my
church.
mind,
This is
straight
church.
went to the kingdom straight away.
That's right.
So
That's right.
the last 2 days I've been thinking to myself, the questions I'm going to have with the kingdom, and obviously through the spirit, this is where you're bringing
All
out.
right, let's talk about the kingdom then. Let's go to Isaiah 60. What you want to find? Yeah? Isaiah 60, man. Let's give him a little snippet of the kingdom, man. Isaiah 60, man. A little teaser, man.
Exactly what verse?
Start from the first verse.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 16 and verse 1. And it reads, send ye the lamb.
Let me get it first. Let me get it.
Oh,
Let the brother get it first.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, carry on.
yeah. Isaiah chapter 16 and verse 1. And it reads, send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land from Selah to the wilderness, unto the mount of the daughters of Zion.
Where are you at?
1601.
60.
16.
You said 16.
I'm French, man.
Oh,
There you go.
0.
Parlez-vous français?
Français.
Parlez-vous
6-0,
français?
man.
Compréhension.
I heard
That was
16.
16. Hey, sorry, man. Sometimes I know sometimes.
No
I know
English.
when I utter the word out, sometimes I'm like, yo, man, you be destroying that beautiful English language, man. But hey, what did I do? I'm trying. Yeah, bring it up.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9.
Yeah.
It says, but as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear
man.
heard,
He said, that's
neither
it.
have entered into the heart of man
That's it.
the things which the Most High has prepared for them that love him.
Bro, see that? So I read that again.
Says-
because that's what I was saying, man.
Verse
You gotta have
22
faith
and 9.
to understand that. That's why a lot of our women don't want to hear it, because there you are, broke buying the same thing, talking about I'm gonna be
That's how
more in the
I need
kingdom. How do you want us to believe in you?
1 Corinthians
You don't have a right, you don't have
Verse
nothing
9.
telling about I'm gonna be the king, follow me, we're gonna rule in the kingdom. How do you want us to believe? How do you want us to
I've told women that, you know, I said, I want you to come with me.
You see, that's the spirit.
Yeah, this is 1 Corinthians 2 and 9. because this goes perfectly to what the brother was saying. And even still, what the brother's saying, there's even more than that.
Oh, yeah,
we can only do what we can imagine. Imagine that. It says, but as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard. Neither have entered. So even what the brother's thinking there, what the Most High has prepared for us, it's not even entered into your mind.
You haven't even considered you haven't even considered that you can even do or will do these things.
Can't comprehend the way of the Most High.
Right. It's too deep for us, man.
That says,
Well, think about it, it's like I think about it. We're into that dimension, right? Everything is limited.
that's right.
We are limited. So we can go as far as we can, but it has nothing compared to what the Most High actually has for us. But for what we're reading right now, even you need faith for that. The little one that you understand, you need faith for that. Imagine now what's out there, man, for us.
All right,
That's
let me
too
read.
deep, man.
It says,
That's too deep.
but as it is written, 1 Corinthians 2 and 9, eye has not seen.
Yeah, it was related to love when the scripture you brought up before. He's saying those that love Yahweh. Yeah.
No, I'll read it.
Yeah.
It says, but as it is written, where's it written? In the Old Testament. Eye has not seen. Let me get it out of my mind.
It sounds like sweet.
Yeah,
Bring it out.
It says, but as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High has prepared for them that love him.
We love it. Yeah, bring it out. That's
So this is the book of Second John, verse 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandment.
Right, obedience.
This is the commandment that, as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it.
And we're not even telling you nothing new.
Bring it out. Bring your
I've got
precept.
precept just fall right on the back of him. Yeah, of my brother here. This is Isaiah chapter 55, and I'll take out verse 7.
That's right.
And it reads, let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. Verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts,
That's right.
neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahweh.
That's right.
Verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your
So
ways.
you're there trying to comprehend the things that the Most High has for you. Brother's talking about going from planet to planet. That's low level. It sounds high to us, but the Most High, his ways is much higher than ours. So imagine what he's got in galaxies. And even that, like, boy. Anyway,
And yeah, and
Also
my
different
thought.
dimensions.
Yeah.
And
And
what about time traveling? Hey, it's not too far-fetched. I'll give you I'll give you a little anecdote, a little story. Yeah, my dad. Yeah, carry on.
Just finish this now. Yeah. And my thoughts than your thoughts.
All right, so I got a little anecdote. My dad, right? He's like a mystical guy. Like he used to be into the spirit. He used to like worship angels or whatever, right? So he told me about something. I did not believe that. He said he had a friend, yeah? The guy is so powerful in the spirit that he had incantation. You know what is incantation? It's a sect, it's a chant, it's like a chant thing. It's a sect word. I mean, the sect
not
of
like a
words.
chant where, hey, you know, you used to hear the name, hey, yo, hey. It's like a,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're saying that, but
Yeah.
A specific prayer.
yeah, that you say,
It's like you saying,
just like that.
But tell me outside, yeah.
Yeah.
He say that he find himself in India. There's people that do that, man.
I can believe that.
Hey,
That kind of so there's accounts of, especially of tribe of Levi up in Haiti.
That's right.
up in
That's
the
right.
mountains.
That's right.
You know, apparently a lot of people have seen, you know, our brothers out there flying and
That's right.
hey, let me
That's
tell
right.
you.
I've
One of
seen
the
videos
there's
of
one guy from top guy from West Africa, the worst. Top guy from the Vatican. A video, it's nothing else. A guy was levitating. And in West Africa, they have a days where the Levites, they levitate. The Levites sit in fire.
Yeah,
the
we know
Levi,
that,
he
we
saw
know
that.
that, yeah.
He take a gun.
Yeah,
and
yeah, the
he
guy.
shoot himself in a mouth.
Gun. Man thing.
Come on, man. That's nothing. You gotta understand that. So that's what he's talking
Low
about.
levels, man.
So what about time traveling? Because they say that guy, that boy Solomon, they say Solomon was time traveling. They say Solomon, he was so deep into the knowledge that he was able to summon spirit from the left hand side to do his work, to do his bidding.
And
We
he
don't know how true it is.
No, but you know why that ain't far-fetched?
Exactly.
Don't we read about Saul
Oh yeah. He did that. He
getting
did
to
that.
the woman that brought up the spirit of Samuel?
Right.
That's right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if we can read that there, why is that going to be far-fetched?
You see how the Esau is able to do some mathematical or whatever equation to get something, all right, to come up with something. You see how they're able to play with the element to fly.
Yeah, imagine
It's-
that.
Spiritually, we are spiritual people, all right. And if you go to the Levi, they have like the Turim. So the Turim, there was like a little when you went to the priest, the Urim and Thummim, where basically you go to the priest and you say, hey, I don't know, man. I want to understand this and that, and they will
That
go,
told you.
and then through that thing, the Most High will speak to them. That's technology, man. We're coming back to that.
Like the brother was saying, if you look at Esau, imagine 200 years back, you're talking about some metal. You know how heavy metal is? Flying in the sky.
Flying that is nothing.
Or metal floating in the water. Like,
So what it is, yeah, it's about formula. Formula create reality. There's certain words, there's certain things, there's certain predisposition. Okay, like we say, for 15 days, don't have sex with your wife. Wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and speak some words, and something will happen. But we don't know that yet. When the time comes, we'll be able to be here and also knowing what the next man think. That's why we will have to keep the law, because you can't be a sneaky motherfucker in the kingdom.
Well, let me just add.
Because the brother knows what you're thinking already.
Let me just add. Keeping the law is going to be part of our DNA. So it's not even going to be a thought. We are going to be programmed.
But that's what I'm saying. You cannot be a sneaky guy in the kingdom, because the next man know your next move. So you have to come with love, man. Come with love. So my brother, I love you. Just be sincere, innit? In the kingdom, we're gonna have to be sincere. The sneakiness that we have amongst us, all of that is out of the window in the kingdom.
That's right.
That's power, man.
You would not be able to. This is what I'm trying to say. You would not be able to,
Because it won't be in you.
because we would all be able to read each other's minds. We are all going to be programmed to keep.
same wavelength.
You're not going to be able to break the law if you're a Hebrew Israelite.
Even if you
Cannot.
try to break the law, you
That's the
can't break
point
the
I'm
law.
trying to make. So you
They're
there's not
seeing it
going
on
to
this side as well now. So like, they're seeing it on this side now. The Most High is winning a lot of, like you say, clean house, his house first.
That's right.
You know,
That's
a lot of brothers coming out of this thing, you know.
That's right.
And Lord willing, we stay.
That's
They're
right.
coming
Yahweh
now.
Rapha, that's
They're
right.
coming now, because the Bible speaks about those who came unaware, crept in unaware, and the Bible talks about in fact, I'm paraphrasing, the good herb and the bad herb.
That's
What is
right.
it?
Good seed and the bad seed.
No, it's one in the Bible talks
Well, the
about
wheat and the tares.
The wheat and the tares. The wheat and the tares is not just a guy whose father is Edomite and he's black. That's on the physical side of it.
It's a spiritual
But amongst
element
us,
to it.
there's a spiritual element where there's brother that were faking the funk from the get-go.
Ezekiel 20.
I didn't know that.
Ezekiel 20. Listen to
I
this.
didn't know that. I thought I was just talking about.
No, it's not. Okay, we're going to explain it to you.
Everything in the scriptures is symbolic, it's spiritual,
Definitely
and
a lot of
it's physical.
symbolic. Yeah.
It's double.
So it's got double,
Triple sometimes,
triple.
no?
Yes.
Double.
Listen to this, my brother. This is Ezekiel chapter 20. And I'll start 33. As I live, saith the Lord power.
Let me get there.
Ezekiel chapter 20.
Yeah, this is church now. More like
Ezekiel chapter 20. Yeah. Let's start 33. As I live, saith the Lord power, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury pour out will I rule over you. and I will bring you out from the people. So when you read the scriptures like Isaiah 11 and 11, it speaks about us being gathered from where? That's those that actually make it into the chariot. But that's not the end. It says, and I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness. So you're going to get some of us that's going to make the destruction, make it into the chariots, then you're going to be brought to the wilderness.
That's right.
And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. How does the Most High plead?
I was just going to say that.
It's not nice, trust me.
When he pleads, how does the Most High plead?
It's woe and somebody.
Also, there's two ways of living in the wilderness. It's going to clean out the house.
Because the thunder is coming down now. Brothers, you guys arguing over something that you don't know. I'm going to ask you two questions here. Have you seen Michael and Gabriel?
Isaiah 66.
We're not arguing, bro.
You're not arguing. It's time to come in peace and unity.
Isaiah
Because
66.
He came with love.
Isaiah 66.
listen to these guys, man. I know what them saying. I don't know them, but I know them in the spirit. They're talking truth.
Isaiah 66.
Isaiah 66 and verse 15.
You guys saying the right thing.
And it reads, For
I
behold,
don't know what you guys debating.
behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariot.
Isaiah 66.
Yeah, let's take time.
So it says, remember, it says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Yeah? So Isaiah 66, verse 15. This is how the Most High pleads. 66, last book in Isaiah, verse 15.
66.
Verse 15, yes. Isaiah 66. It's the last book in Isaiah. Yeah? Verse 15 and 16 we're going to read. This is how the Most High pleads. Got it yet? Yeah, go on.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 15. And it reads, For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword.
When you go to Job 19 and 29, let's know that that sword is judgment. Yeah. So it says, for by fire and by his sword.
And by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
So how's he pleading? Pretty please?
But and also
That's how the Most High pleads.
pleading would mean obviously it's double. Because when you plead, basically you be in the church. Then when you church, what do you have? You have two cases, you have two outcomes. You have the one that are innocent, so therefore not condemned. And you've got the one that are guilty, therefore condemned.
That's right.
So when you plead with us in the wilderness, the one that it will make us judge, it will get us ready. It's like a little ritual or initiation thing before we get down. Because after that, what we're gonna do? Jeremiah 16 and 16.
That's
We
right.
become hunters,
That's
man.
right.
So we're gonna put the spirit on us in the wilderness for us to get us ready. But those now
So
who
we
are
clean
being
the house
rebel,
first,
yes,
and then we
and
do
those who
what
are
we
being
do.
rebel, they will slice them. Because read Isaiah 66 and 15 again. Read it
Isaiah
again.
chapter 66 and verse 15.
it out.
And it reads, For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his
That
anger.
whirlwind is swift. Like the scripture says, he's going to come like a thief
That's
in the
quick,
night.
innit?
Right?
You know, like before you know it, rah, what happened there? Bare bodies around us.
to render his anger,
It says his anger.
fury.
It didn't say his joy and his happiness, his peace and his love. It said to
Yeah,
render
because
his
it's coming from
anger.
other nations.
That's
With
right.
fury, though, with fury. And he's rebuked with flames of fire. Verse 16. Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh. And the
So
Please
the
don't
Lord
come up on the
Yahweh,
cameraman.
Yeah, come on.
the Lord Yahweh, please, oh, this guy, we're not scared of them, man. Don't make me go crazy on them. They're nothing. Agent, whatever, they're nothing. But we're ready for them, they're done. Alright? We got more power than them, man. They
and
don't
will
come.
plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
When we go back to Ezekiel chapter 20, Ezekiel 20 and verse 35 again. Let me get it back.
Yeah, let me read the plea. Let me read the that's what the blue Bible says, right? The blue. Man, listen, man, we ready for God and for death and for life and for resurrection.
I like the word that you guys are preaching, but I'm just looking in for truth,
okay, that's Shabbat,
but
yeah?
not lies.
See? Shabbat.
It's strong decision,
decision.
or righteous judgment.
Yeah, so he says a primitive root, okay, to judge, to pronounce sentence
That's right.
for or against,
That's right.
by implication to vindicate or punish, by extension to govern.
That's right.
Yeah, so he's gonna make us governors as well.
And just to add to that, Yahushua is going to plead, or Yahushua is going to plead in the valley of Yahushaphat. It's called Josaphat, but in Hebrew it's Yahushaphat, which means Yahweh's righteous judgment.
Been there already.
So Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 35
You know,
says, and I would bring you into the wilderness of the people.
Hey, I'm not done. Look. Contain, defend, execute, be a judge, plead, reason, rule. Alright, so it's going to turn into a ruler, pleading, meaning those who are innocent in the wilderness, he will get them ready. He will initiate them. He will do a little ritual. I even want a little story, right? In Africa, the certain tribes. So when you're 12, so like I just want to open their mind. When you're 12, when you're 21, depending on different things, you go to the wilderness. Look at this, man. This is our people. Must be the people of the Most High. You go to the wilderness, and you stay there for 10 days, or 12 days, or 21 days, and then you're in that bush, and then and then they initiate you with it. They teach you how to be men, the do and the don't. How you should be a man, how you should be a woman, how you should behave in society. So that's what the Most High is doing to us. Over there, those who don't have the right spirit, but the whole time the Most High know that some brothers don't have the spirit.
that's right.
But they're faking the funk, they're acting like they're in the truth. And also, those who deliberately bring false doctrine. Alright, I'm not gonna say nothing about that. Just go online, you can see a lot of camps that do them thing, come with other things. The Most High ain't gonna do nothing. You know why? Because the Most High is so real that you're doing something after all. You've been telling people that they're Hebrew Israelites. So the Most High respect them. So he will let you
Get the chariot.
wake the people up, wake them up, wake them up.
You
When
allow the weak to go with the
yeah, do your thing. But when he gets it over there, he will now call the card. You'll be faking the whole time. I brought you here to show you something, to show the brother something. Purge out the wickedness. And then now the rest, the rest, teach them how to govern, teach them how to be men, teach them how to be the hunters of, right now we're fishers. How do you think you're going to get a king? You're going to get, because the hunter part comes after Yahushua comes, you know. Exactly. It's not before. Exactly. That's why right now you have to be a fisher. A fisher, you have to be meek.
That's right.
Well, if you got a buck down, like someone that's right beside us, and they think that they're tough, we're going to show them. Are we ready?
And the hunt is the manifestation of the physical, which was the fishing, and of the spiritual, which was the fishing in the first place. And it shows you that everything manifests. Like now the scriptures say that we must get the kingdom in our heart first.
That's right. That's right.
Physically, you know.
That's why I gave the example of you going to the Emirates, you're gonna have to learn Arabic.
That's right.
You have to learn the way. That's right. It's the same way. Right now you're rehearsing. You're rehearsing to be an elect, you know, you're rehearsing to be a kingdom, and you know, you don't need to be kingdom-minded and to have a ruling class mentality. That's what you're doing right now. Kings are not scared, you know. Do you think King David was scared?
No.
Do you think Malak Dawud was scared to go to war?
No.
He went to war any given chance. You know why? Because he understood that at the end of the day, the Most High is with me. And Psalm 144 says that he gave me the power to fight. So he was a ninja. He was like this guy, Shaolin. You know what I'm saying? Man that can kick you. Man that can give you one in right in your chest and you make 7 steps and you drop
before you're dead, man.
You drop dead. Alright? That's who Malak Dawada was. But the Bible said that the feeble amongst them will be more than King Dawada. What does it mean? You're nothing to be played with. And you gotta have that spirit when you're not scared of no one. Let me tell you something. If someone comes against you right now, the Most High can give you the spirit, one knockout. He will see the Most High and come back. And tell me he's going to be knocked down because we got spiritual power. But what it is that the Most High make us speak? We use that spiritual power to teach our people to be out there and we go. But it doesn't mean that we cannot use it physically. You get what I'm saying? Carry on that.
Ezekiel 20 and 35.
One who got strength net.
Yeah, says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Right. You're going to get some of our people that actually made the destruction, but they're brought to the wilderness. It says, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord power. How did he plead with them? They died out. They died out.
With the exception of Joshua and Caleb, every single one of the people that came out of Egypt, including Moses or Masha, they did not enter into Jerusalem.
20 and over. Imagine that. So it says, in verse 37, and I will cause you to pass under the rod and bring you into the bond of the covenant. Now here's my point. And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn. So obviously they made the chariots, but it says, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, that I am the bad man.
There's a prophet that had a dream, right? He had a dream to say like, he had a dream about us. Let's be focused here. He had a dream about us in a chariot, right? And there was people rejoicing.
Yeah, you can.
Right? There were people rejoicing. Everyone was rejoicing. And at some point, different people went to different rooms. And there was a particular room where there were 1 minute they were rejoicing, and when the angel got into that room, everything became quiet. Like, because he probably give them the sense that you're gonna get it once you get to the wilderness. So what the prophet says is real. You'll be in the chariot. We can make it to the chariot. But until you make it to the gates of Yasharala, it's not over. Until you make it to the gate of the Malakwaf, Shal Yasharala, it's not over. That's why, that's why right now you have to be meek, man. Be real, man. Look, we all fight. You're gonna read it. We all fight against sin. Just because you're a sinner doesn't mean that you're wicked. We all have demons. Sometimes you look at a woman that reminds you of the past, you know. Sometimes you love money or whatever. Fight through it, but be genuine. Be real. Don't be an hypocrite. Don't be a two-faced. There's brothers in the truth that always try to be snake, always try to be fox. They wasn't successful into getting rid of that old man. But you're in the truth, you're even preaching and everything. You got garments and you do what you do. Gossiping always create contention among brothers. Being a snake the whole time. right? But the Most High don't say nothing. He don't say nothing. He let you do your thing. And let me tell you something. When you sin and something happened to you, it's a good sign.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm a living witness.
Because if I have a son, when my son do something, I don't play with my son. I don't play with my children. I love them. I have on the case. Do you get what I'm saying? Why? Because I love them.
That's right.
If someone don't love you, they will let you to go and destroy yourself.
That's right.
So when the most side things happen to you, yeah, it's a good thing.
What do your parents do? Your parents, when they keep chastising you and you're not listening, say, alright then. Leave him, make him learn.
See,
That's the white man way. That's the white man way. Do as thou wilt.
That's right.
There's no love in this. This place teaches love acceptance, but this place really has no love. Real love is chastising.
Yes, that's right.
Despise not the chastening of the Lord. That's right. In Hebrews, I believe. That's right.
So it's good when you know you want to say
I was
something.
gonna say, and that's one thing our people can't take. You know,
Correction.
correction.
That's right is what I want to say. And you know why?
Let me finish and you can read it.
They're looking.
My brother, please, it's order. Right?
See, this trade, the scripture says, the triumphing of the wicked is but for a moment, the hypocrite. Because this place is based on hypocrisy.
That's right.
They say love, but there is no love.
No, it's all fake.
No, real love is discipline. When you go into Wisdom of Solomon, it tells you when you go into it says I don't have the apocryphal with me, but it says that
Paraphrase.
I forget how the scripture goes, but it's
You know it.
Pull the scripture.
hold on, wait a minute.
We read.
Let the brother find it, read it, and then you bring your precept. And you can get back to it. Then you can
Wisdom of Solomon.
Sorry to interrupt, but there's a situation with Elijah. There was a crowd came and feed Elijah.
Yeah.
In today's society, they don't expect you to come and minister to them. They expect the higher up on the hierarchy to minister to them. So I mean, so that mentality, they're actually being brainwashed.
Right.
But the Almighty used a crow to feed Elijah. So
And that's what we're doing right
that's an
now.
analogy again.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're out there to preach to our people. Because the Bible says that, the Most High do not dwell into building made up. Right. So this is the church. The Bible says as well. The Bible says that they shall see the teachers. So they see us when they come into the shopping, they see us, and we make sure we wear those one as well. So when they know, so they can't say that the Most High didn't tell them. But the Most High need weakness before he pass out agenda. Because before he lick you down, he need weakness. So we are the weakness to these people. So when they talk about destruction, they won't say, oh yeah, no one told us about. No, we told you.
You know another witness? These brick walls, these stones.
The wind.
Sometimes when you read the scriptures, it says, make this stone be a witness unto us.
The wind that's blowing right now. The wind. Can't you feel the wind?
I mean, it's just like
The wind is blowing right now.
when
Can you
you.
feel it? It's not normal.
I mean, even when you remember back in the days of old, any time judgment was being passed, there was always a prophet that the Most High sent first to give the people warning before destruction came. Always, and that hasn't changed from today.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 16. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her. Showeth herself favourably unto them in the ways, meeteth them in every thought. Verse 17. For the very truth beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of disciplining is love.
That's what this scripture teaches, discipline. And you have to think about it, like, we're living in a society where there's no discipline. That's why when you read Leviticus, you say your business. When you live in a society where there's no discipline, the laws, like what the Most High tells us to do, actually bring us back in order. You know what I'm saying? But it says, learn not the ways of the heathens.
Yeah, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Right, so it's got a lot of knowledge, and that's what we said earlier. Knowledge plus or mixed with understanding will create wisdom. And our people don't have it. That's why right now we did.
My people are are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
So they're rejecting knowledge because they don't like the truth. Right? When we out here and preaching, they don't like us preaching. They
reject
what we're saying. Yeah, carry on.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I, Yahweh, will also reject thee.
That's why Yahweh are rejecting our brothers and sisters. They can't just see precept.
That thou shalt be no priest to me, to Yahweh, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
Bring your precept.
I will also forget thy children.
So that's what he did. That's why you see gangs and look, go on Instagram. Go on Instagram and go on YouTube and go on Facebook. You will see how much of a degenerate our people are, our children are.
That's a scary scripture, man. That's a scary
I find it in
scripture.
the Islam book that people that go to heaven and that on the day of judgment,
What people?
that people that go to heaven, I find it in the Torah, in the Quran.
In the Quran.
Yeah, and it says on the day of judgment, they're going to be judged because they're tearing from the garment of Israel.
Okay, so who are black people? Who are black people?
Who are the black people? I don't know, but people, there are some Hebrews who join Islam. So he's talking about them, the Hebrews who join Islam. They turn away from the God of Israel.
So black people are Hebrews
And they're
that
not
join
going to go,
Islam.
and they're not going to go to heaven because they were deceived. It's in the old Quran.
Okay.
It is said in the Quran that Islam was invented.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 18. And love is the keeping of her laws and the giving heed unto her laws.
17 again and then
Okay. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. Verse 18, and love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Verse 19.
Because why? Because you're going to get that kingdom at the end of it. That immortal. Now what the scripture speaks about in the twinkling of an eye, change from the mortal to the immortal, corruptible to the incorruptible.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 19. And incorruption maketh us near unto Yahweh. Verse 20. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom.
It says the sight of, read that bit again.
Verse 20. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom.
The desire of wisdom brings you to a kingdom. And that's what we're doing, man, because we read it earlier again. Wisdom and knowledge shall be what?
Times.
And so you had a
And this is sad that the doctrine of love, the philosophy of love that's being promoted is basically the acceptance of different sexualities, different genders, you know, the accepting everything. And if you speak against it, that's seen as a hate crime. So that's not really love. Love is discipline. And really the concept of doing as thou wilt, it was based off of the philosophy of a witch by the name of Alistair Crowley.
That's right.
So all the philosophies of this place is based upon witchcraft, witches and warlocks. Doing as thou please, love, that's you go to church. They say God is just all love. And that's it. There's no balance. There's no balance. So really the God that's being worshipped in there is really Satan. It's really Satan, doing as you please, because now they got women pastors. And in the Bible clearly teaches against women being pastors, man. It clearly teaches that, but they do contrary. Because they go for us doing as thou wilt. Even in church. So there's no discipline even in church.
Pastors are inaugurated by the Roman Catholics. It's supposed to be shepherds. These are word and ideology from philosophical mental bring these words.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse
shepherds.
Wisdom.
No, just a correction. But pastors are invented by Rome. It's supposed to be shepherd. I will send them shepherd after my own heart. Oh, sorry, that's why you're right. Sorry, my apologies.
Because now it brings confusion.
No, I didn't bring confusion. I'm bringing order. I don't bring confusion. That's a lie from the box of hell. No, I don't bring confusion. I bring order in heaven and in hell. Then I must subdue to the truth of the Almighty. Yeah, you're right, but I was just correcting it. Pastors are inaugurated by Rome. It's supposed to be shepherd.
Okay,
Yeah,
you made your point. You made your point. This is the point I'm trying to make. Two or more are gathered in the name of Yahweh Hashem Shai. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's about seven people here, I'm just naming about 7 people here that are in one accord. So if you are not in one accord with us, you're creating disharmony. So if you want to be in one accord with us, listen to the word being brought out. If you want to bring out a point, take your time and then bring out your point. But don't go over, yeah? Because that brings okay.
Alright, I'll get you now. That's correct. Yeah, sorry man. Sorry. I weren't over talking. Sorry, I weren't over talking.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 21. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that ye may reign forevermore.
That's right. Honor wisdom that you may reign, and that's what is required of us. To get that wisdom so that we can get in the kingdom. But think about it. Why would the other nation try to be like us? I'm sorry. I'm asking you a question.
First of all, it's like you say, the Most High gave us all the promises. We got the promises.
That's right. That's right.
But then, because of our wisdom, I'll give you one example. I'll give you one example. You see, when we in power, even the fish will be laughing. You will hear them. They're so happy. They'll be jumping out of the water, flying, telling you hi. Like, because, you know why? Because you coming on power, you're so in tune with the ecosystem in the universe. And even the tree, bring that part.
Isaiah 14, verse 7. Isaiah 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, and this is when wearing comes. It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us.
Right, so you can see it clearly that the wisdom that we will have, that we're rehearsing to have right now, will create stability and harmony in the ecosystem and in the universe. And when the other nations see that, they'll be like, wow, this guy is moving different. And since they're in power, everything is at peace. Even the size of the grape get back to how it was before. Big grapes, even big. You know how you take it the small one, it will be like that on your finger.
If you look right, we need oxygen to survive, right? We get that from the trees. The Amazon forest, they're cutting down these places. That's one of the biggest main sources of what gives us oxygen on this planet. And you're cutting it down. So we need to get these we need to be in power.
We need to, man. And also, tree called spirits. They're living beings, you know. Esau don't know nothing. That's what Esau does. Esau don't understand how it works. Esau is a destroyer. He's a smith. When he come with destruction. We need to get him out of the way so everything can get back to normal. We can be like we were, and we can live in peace and be happy again. So it's a must we come out here and we bring that vibration of the kingdom. Because remember, the gospel, the Greco-Roman gospel has been here for how long? For a long time.
About 1,700 years.
Right.
2,000.
Right.
1,700.
Right. Because I'm talking about the Greco-Roman.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the Greco-Christian, I'm talking about the Greco-Roman. Yeah. So he's right? But nothing happened, but still the same bullshit. Since the Hebrew Israelite came in the street, especially on the internet, we see at least a prophecy already being. So there's a prophecy, and this world shall go all around, and then the end shall come. That's what we witness this right now. It's happening right now, my brother.
This is First Chronicles. This is going back into like when we're in our rightful position, everything being back in its proper order. First Chronicles chapter 16, I'll start 31. First Chronicles 16, verse 31. says, let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice, and let men say among the nations, Yahweh reigneth. Let the sea that's right. Let the sea roar, and the fullness thereof. Let the fields rejoice. Let the sea roar. Let the sea roar, and the fullness thereof.
And the fullness thereof.
Everything.
Big as fishes in that. Like right now, if you look in the fish, sorry, in the sea here, there's like a whole heap of tons of
Toxic waste,
plastic.
Yeah.
But you know what happened?
Which is not
It's
biodegradable.
over there, right? It's over there. You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to clean that? But he's something that he got to do something and he's still like that. We're going to go, they're going to go to school. We're going to teach them how to be quick. We're going to give them a bit of spiritual power so that they move much more quicker. And they're going to clean the mess that they made. We're not going to clean that. They're going to clean it. But when you go to the seas, you don't see the fullness. You see rubbish. And that's why you see a fish coming out of the sea dying. You see because the chemical element that's invading them, that doesn't allow them to leave like they're supposed to leave.
What is that saying they have? Clean up your own mess.
They're going to clean up their own mess. So read that.
It says, 1 Chronicles 16:32. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof. Let the fields rejoice and all that is therein.
Let the field rejoice. All that.
Let the fields rejoice and all that is therein.
And all that is therein. No more cutting trees, man. All right? No more cutting on the trees and no more moving things around like they do. Because the tree is a living thing. The universe is a living thing. Everything is, the Bible says, everything must be done, in decency and in order. And one thing Esau doesn't have is order. It's a very disorderly person. All right? And that's what we bring back, because that's why we have to fight for these. Sometimes you can't even breathe. Sometimes when you go, I used to work in Central London. Every time I came home, my body was scratching. I needed a shower immediately. You know why? The pollution, the toxin, the garbage. Now, look at the food that we're eating, man. Look at McDonald's, man. I think my son wants to eat McDonald's. What's that with you?
It's all genetically made now. Nothing's properly grown anymore.
Says verse 33. Then shall the trees of the wood sing out at the presence of Yahweh, because he cometh to judge.
You know what it means, sing out? They will be able to grow. Like I said, the fruit that we have today is the curse, man. They got a little bit of avocado like that. Back in time is big. Alright, everything was big back in time. Alright, so we need to get back. Put it in our order.
It is written, he will cut off the head of the lion the head hardened and the tail. It is written. That will happen. That means they're going to be stopped. The lion spread and the lion person, because the head are the ancient and honorable, and the tail are the lion prophets. So the Most High going to shut them up and eradicate them.
According to you, who are the lion prophets?
If they not speak according to the word, according to Deuteronomy.
Where's your beard, man? Where's your beard?
Don't worry, man. Don't look at the physical. Don't worry about the physical, man. No. Look here, the Bible is written by a man and it's written from the cross.
No, them by
the Bible is
Jeremiah 7:23.
I know Jeremiah.
But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, I will be your power, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well with you. So,
when he said, obey my voice, how does the Most High speak to us?
Go back to Adam and Eve.
No. What I'm saying, in this latter days we're in, how do we...
Latter days for them, but the beginning for us. There's a latter day for them.
How do we obey his voice?
The Most High's voice.
Yes.
if we receive the spirit of truth.
We listen to his voice. His
No,
voice
no,
comes
no,
out
no,
of
no, no.
scriptures.
This is written by the Spirit. We don't listen to this. We listen to what the Spirit leads us to. The Spirit leads us to the word of truth. The Spirit of truth is in us.
Where's the word of truth
The
found?
word of truth comes from the mouth of the Most High. It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every living word that comes from the mouth. The Most High never stops and cease to exist.
All right,
Where'd you find the word?
My brother.
These are history.
All right, my brother. Let's get back.
We teaching. You came. I mean, I love
I'm
you,
listening,
brother.
man. I'm learning.
I know.
Even though I know, I'm
I
learning.
told yes, you know. That's not. You know so much that.
No. Don't say that.
I get it.
No, the Most High know more than me.
No problem.
I'm a learner like anybody else, man.
All right,
No, man.
Isaiah
Don't put me in that position,
Isaiah,
man.
no, read your part first. You
No, man.
the one that
Feel like Floyd is not normal, you know.
First Chronicles
Read that one.
16.
Bless the word.
Read that one. And then
Give life to
read
the word.
Isaiah 16.
Let the word be exalted above the words of man. Blow up.
Say, people, man, they will understand it when the time
Read
comes.
it for us.
Hosea 4 and 6.
Let the sun be darkened for a while and let the breath of God rule.
Don't get it. It's hard.
Yeah, man.
The hard way.
Never feel a strong
Don't get it the hard way.
Never feel the breath of God come.
Second Chronicles 16.
Not Isaiah 16. No. 60. I know you're laughing at me because you had 16 in it. That's it.
Yeah. 660.
That's the French in me. All right.
Here we go. First Chronicles.
Yeah, read that.
I'll read it again. First Chronicles 16 and 31. Let the heavens be glad,
Right.
and let the earth rejoice,
Right.
and let men say among the nations,
Right.
Yahweh reigneth.
Right. So that's a declaration that we're supposed to be all declaring. So I want everyone to get his Bible. Let's get your Bible. Let's go to this one and let's declare it together. Because this is
He reigns. Yes, that's the word I told my mom the other day. He reigns. Don't say the Lord liveth. He reigns. That's the prophetic word.
Okay, Psalm 14
He reigns.
and 16.
That's it.
Let's all get
Confirm
Psalm
that.
14 and 16.
He reigns.
And let's proclaim some
Hallelujah.
Brixton.
I confirm that, brother. He reigns.
Psalm 40, verse 16.
I didn't say 14, I said 14. And don't run from me. 14.
Really think that's man.
This is what we're going to do.
Around, come on.
Psalms chapter
Yeah, man.
14,
Everything, man.
verse 16.
16.
Babylon finished. Yeah, man. I'm a
Let all the
Right, now let's
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. Let such as love thy salvation say continually, the Lord be magnified.
All right, what we're going to
Let's do
say?
last one.
We say Yahweh.
Yahweh, let's do 1,
Instead of the Lord,
Yahweh be magnified. All right? So that's our declaration, man. And like the brother says, a beautiful precept because he tells you that let the Most High reign again, man. And let all the elements be happy again like they used to when Adam was Adam. That's what we're going again.
That's why all these nations envied him, man.
That's right. That's why
Mountain was bigger and more fairer than all the other broad cedars of the woods, man.
Can you repeat that again a bit? Sorry.
When I say
When Adam, I didn't get that.
yeah, because Adam, he was immovable. Because he wasn't in sin, he was keeping the law. Adam was ruling, Adam and his people, like our people, they are very strong at that time. To the point where the other nation was envying them. And that envy brought the sneakiest of them all to come with idolatry and to corrupt Eve, which then corrupt Adam. Yes,
This is second Esdras, chapter 3, and verse, that's out 5. And gave us a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and this breathed into him the breath of life, those statutes and commandments, and he was made living before thee. Because when you read Proverbs 7 and 2 says, keep my commandments and live. Yeah? And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandments to love thy way, which he transgressed. And immediately thou appointest death in him, and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number.
Right, so
yeah, as soon as Adam went off, that's it, man.
on top of the game,
Change
when
of
you read
darkness.
Isaiah 31, it tells you about that as well. Isaiah went to how beautiful the branches were. The branches talking about us, but then the other trees talking about the other nations. Yeah, that's another cup. That's another cup. All right. So now let's read Isaiah 16. But the brother was asking about the kingdom. Let me give you a snippet. 6-0. 6-0. I would say 6-0. Because you're definitely taking a piece, man. I say 6-0. But he's taking a piece.
60 on what?
Start at 1. No, start at 1. All the way to 10.
So this is the book
he's saying
of
about-
Isaiah,
yeah.
chapter 60, starting at 1 to 10. Verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come.
Right, arise, shine, for the light is come, man. Your light has come now. You know what the light is?
That's the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Yeah.
That's right.
You got it now, so your light has come. We're in darkness for so long.
And that
Now
main
you got
light
it now,
is
man.
Yahweh Shai.
It's Yahweh Shai, obviously. But he's the one that's giving you the wisdom. Man. So that's him. That's the knowledge that he's giving you, carry on.
And the glory of the Lord Yahweh is risen upon thee.
Alright, so it's on you right now. You're bold, you're going out, telling people, you're wearing your fringes, you want to live like a king now. The shine is just, because the Bible says, let your light shine. Man. So our light is shining now. And that's what Esau is going to be. See, just like when Adam was shining, and Esau came to beguile him, begat Eve, they're going to come to us because they're jealous. But they see us shining. But how people don't see the shine though?
Why is that?
They see the shine. They know what's taking place right now. They know this is the prelude to our kingdom. So they're going to have to come and try to stop it, but honestly, they can't stop it because they themselves, they're in a movie. And they're being used by the very power that is giving us the power, that is giving us the kingdom.
Verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth,
Right.
and gross darkness the people.
That's like wisdom and knowledge. God. Well,
Yeah, Amos 8 and 10. But that's the carry on.
But the Lord Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
So before the kingdom, there will be gross darkness. So the Bible says in Amos 5 and 18 that the day of the Lord is darkness, man.
That's right.
Let's read that quickly before we carry on. Let's bring precept after precept. Amos 5 and 18. The day of the Lord is darkness, man. Nothing to be playing with that day. Man, it's going to be terrible, man.
Amos chapter 5 and verse 18.
woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh.
Carry on.
To what end is it for you?
So it's asking the wicked people, man. Because you got Christians saying, the day of the Lord. We are expecting that day. They don't understand what's going on, man. They don't even know what it's. So the most I'm talking to say, you singing in your church, the day of the Lord, we want the day of the Lord. Do you know what that means? And then he explains it. They don't know what that means.
Says,
I've seen the
the day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
The day of the Lord is darkness and it's not light. Alright, carry on. So it's gonna be dark before it gets, you know how I say it's gonna be
Bad before
it gets better. That's what's gonna happen.
That's
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah, so before I do that, I just want to, been trying to say it. Darkness is also synonymous with ignorance. So it's symbolic to the word
That's what we
ignorance.
see right now. That's what we see right now.
So verse 3, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
The Gentile shall come to the light, man. Because in the kingdom you're going to be shining to the point where the Gentile, that's why you will go. In different countries and we will help them with the education. He said, from there on, you speak Hebrew. you learn Hebrew. The woman, so basically how you read the law. You know how Esau law is all over the place? That's how law become the law of the Gentiles.
This is Micah 4 and 2. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh and to the house of the power of Jacob. Micah 4, Slakia. Micah 4 verse 2. Micah is, you got Obadiah, Jonah.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, a lot of Romanian people are from, because there's a place in Romania, I forgot the name, where they have like a church, and in that church, you've got the over there showing the power and everything, man. So most likely, you'll find out you love the truth. Me personally, I want to say
to be honest, your spirit, you have the spirit of a Jake.
They have that spirit of Jake in them.
That's what I think about brother.
But if you are a Jake, we here every Saturday. You don't time to come every Saturday. We're making them have a conversation. Oh man, that's powerful, man. Come back next week and listen to it more and see. Then we'll see where it goes.
When you go away, if you've got any like questions you maybe, like you must have things that you probably would wonder. Come and ask.
I'll put it this way. If you're really like me, if I like something, I will try to pursue it. I will try to dig deep into it. If you're real about it, we here every Saturday. Come and let's have a disco. Let's find out. Well,
What the brother just said is that he came out with a heart faith. When he started to listen, what was being said, the pain went.
Every Saturday.
You what? So he came up with a heart pain. So when he started to listen, he said the pain went.
It's up to you. Give you the list of your people, of your country. Who did you have Romania originally where we were blacks? How is you after?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know. You don't know. Tell him.
That's what
hills, man.
When are those people here?
No, we're not.
Come back. Because we're doing something.
We are
come next time.
The word be exalted above the word of man.
Give you the game. So you will make your mind and for you will know. But a so-called occasion to be saying, it's like music to my ears. They don't do that. When they come here,
and by the way, in Romania, there's people in Romania that go to university that are being persecuted.
So yeah, my brother. It could be the stuff of God coming back.
That's right.
You never know with the power of the Most High. That's what it is. It's unlimited, man.
So this is Micah again, Micah 2.
Who are we to say who is who? It's the Most High. Most High. Yeah. All we do is give the word, and if it resonates to them, so be it.
Most High is going to whip that at the end of the day. Micah 2, Micah 4, Slakia, in verse 2. It says, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord of Yahweh.
And the mountain mean the government, mean the nation. Do you get what I'm saying? So that one, they will come to us to learn the way, because we will bring stability. There are women who try to be over, like as we've ever been. It's not possible because at this point we cannot. I don't think we can have them because our women will be so beautiful, so right mind, 100% in the right mind. We didn't need when a black woman is in the right mind. Yeah, I know. When a black woman is in the right mind, when a black woman is in the right mind, it's a dangerous thing. You don't want to leave the yards. When you go to work, you want to get back so
can't wait
quick.
to get home. That's all on your mind, getting home back to your woman.
And to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. And we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth from Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
Right, so that's what's going to happen. We're going to be the ruler, we're going to be the gatekeepers. So basically, they will come through us for everything. All right, and they better not go against the law, against them, because if a country goes against them, we're going to stop the rain. It's not going to be
right.
raining. They won't
That's
be
in
able
Revelation.
to cultivate anything until they come back on their knees and say, Salakia are the one.
This is Zechariah
See that?
chapter
That's a powerful
14.
thing, man. That's powerful.
Zechariah chapter 14. Zechariah chapter 14. And verse 16. Zechariah chapter 14. That's just before Malachi. Yeah, almost the last book, second to last book in the Old Testament. Zechariah chapter 14. 14, last chapter. It's 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go. So this is even showing you that salvation is just for Israel. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about all the nations that go up against Jerusalem. Yeah? That everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Right. We're even going to be keeping that in the kingdom.
And they're going to be keeping that as well.
That's right.
You know how they keep all those feasts? They'll be keeping our feasts.
That's right.
That we will be the lawmaker and from all those countries, from all those nations. Right? And they will come year to year with tribute. They will come with everything that they have, the crops, everything they come and give it to them. Yeah.
Says verse 17, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
That's
The
right.
word says no rain, you got no crops.
That's the word.
No crops.
No food.
No food.
Yeah, that's the word. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verses 3 to verse 6. And it reads, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days.
The 2 witnesses is the northern and the southern kingdom.
I must say though, that's talking about right now.
Yeah, that's what's happening now.
Clothed in sackcloth, verse 4. These are the 2 olive trees.
And it says these are the 2 olive trees. When you go to Zechariah 4, I believe. Yeah, or the last verse in Zechariah 4, it lets you know that they're the 2 olive trees. Who the 2 olive trees are.
These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the God Elohim of the earth. Verse 5. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must be in this manner. He must in this manner be killed. Verse 6. So this is the one now. Verse 6. These have power to shut heaven that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. That's the point.
So what it means is that I was saying earlier that single sound prophecy, prophesying things that is happening. That's us through the spirit shutting down. But that's talking about right now. That's not talking about in the kingdom of God.
Book of Revelation is right now.
Right, talking about right now. So we have the power, seems to be us talking right now.
That fire, this is the fire.
That fire, man. And also, every one of them that you see, every single one of them that you see, they're marked.
Yep.
That's what we do. When we come, we mark them.
You know, you always hear the Benjamites talking about fire on the
That's right.
That's spiritual, man.
On both sides of the ocean, because in the west coast of Africa, they say, thunder go fire you. That's what they say. Thunder go fire you.
That's how we are the people, because they're trying to kick us out of our land. They're brainwashed, but they didn't. One thing they didn't take from us is our
Hebrewism, that's what you look for.
who we are. You can't take away.
That's all.
It's in our souls, it's in us. And from time to time, we bring it out. So for us to are trained in the spirit, we see him like, oh, that's Jake right there.
Some people say as well that you know when Jacob fooled the angel, it's one of the, and the angel prays hip hop praises. It's one of the main reasons why us Israelite men walk how we walk today.
See, that's spiritual. That's spiritual. That is very, very spiritual, and you will find out that's true. We are Jacob, man. And do you know the name Supplanter. That means hustle. It's a hustler. But when you look at this situation, whatever, he's supplanting wherever, he was a hustler, man. Do you get what I'm saying? It's hustle. Hey, there's no one that hustle that Jacob. No one. You know what I'm saying?
So Jeremiah 5:14. This is just to back up what you're saying about the word. Jeremiah chapter 5:14. It says, wherefore, thus saith Yahweh power of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. So this is why when we come out and you get all these scoffers, burning them up, man. Yes, burning them up, man. Like when they say, the word of God is quick and mightier than any two-edged sword, and it's so sharp, it goes down to the marrow.
Cut your soul.
Cut your soul. When you're into it, you have to be careful because as you speak to people, you're speaking to yourself. That's right. That's what about being hypocrite. Dangerous thing. Yeah, carry on.
So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and we're on verse 4. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
All right, carry on.
Verse 5. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart,
and
thy mind.
Together. Unity. That's one thing we lack, man. Hey, let me tell you something. The lack of unity in our community is one of the most. That's the key. That's the reason why we got the problem. But there's strength in number and there's strength in unity.
What's her name again? UNITY.
Queen Latifah.
And thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee.
So all the blessings, man, all the blessings of this earth will come to us. People talk about money. What is money when I...
And by the way,
you get it.
And by the way, the sea is also indicative of nation. So when it says the abundance of the sea,
their riches will be ours.
Unto thee, the forces of the Gentiles, which is validating what I just said, the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
So you know how in West Africa, in Jamaica, we work for them. We work like in Africa, West Africa, the French, they're going to take it, man. You work and they take it, man. But don't worry, in that time, you take 100-fold.
When it says reverse the curse, isn't it? When you read Deuteronomy 30 and 7, it says, the curse that's on you, on these other nations. Now when you read Deuteronomy 28 and 33, it talks about, this is a roughly paraphrase, Deuteronomy 28 and 33, it says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, thou shalt only be oppressed and cast always. But what the brother's reading here now is the reverse of that. All of their labors coming to us.
Yeah, man.
Verse 6. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord.
So all them Ishmaelite, all these people, right? They'll bring us down to that. They'll bring us a lot of things, man. All right?
Verse 7. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. So Kedar is synonymous with the Arabs. The rams of Nebaioth or Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory.
Yeah, so down riches will be ours, man. Alright? You know how the mafia goes and you should say, yo, you pay 10 of it. That's what's gonna happen, man. When they make money, when they make that money, when they get whatever they do, they have to think about the Hebrews right. First, don't pull out this danger from them, man. Now, I was talking to you earlier about something, right? I want you to answer this. Read that one.
Verse 8.
Answer this one.
Verse 8.
Let's find out. Let's find out what is this, man.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 8.
Are you there? Yeah, read it.
Who are these that fly as a cloud?
Who are these? Listen to this one. I told you about the chariot that will be in chariot going. I don't know. Someone tell me what that means.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 8. Who are these that fly as a cloud and as the doves to their windows? Verse 9.
Is that the angels or the carrier?
Verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, which is Spain, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them unto the name of the Lord Yahweh, thy God power, and to the Holy One of Israel, Yasha Allah, because he hath glorified me.
Right, so that one, he talks to the whole time about the glory of who?
Is that not the elect? Is that not talking about
The
the
elect.
elect?
So therefore, the verse 8 is about who are these that are flying at the cloud, man. Spiritual power, but also, what is the cloud? What's the cloud?
The clouds are the chariot.
So we will have some sort of, and also, you know what's funny? There was a time where these Edomites, they were talking about by 2022, we will have flying cars. And I saw the prototype, man. It goes like that after that boom. And I like the idea. But guess what? It might be us in the kingdom. So remember, they're trying to emulate, they're trying to be like us. They read the Bible, they will understand it, they will research it, they will say, let's do it before they do it.
But he's trying to get his blessing.
He's trying to get his blessing, trying to be like us, man.
Through the Spirit, you had a dream that sort of
Yeah. Like a dream that I had a while back. It was like, went into some building, went into a room, and like there's a group of brothers in there, and there's like, we had enemies on the other side, so we said, shall we go and get them? And everyone said, yes. But then we just jumped out the window. So when we landed now, like chaos was just going on all around us, and then somehow they just came to the window and they're running up their mouth, oh you. So we started to run off down the road, and then someone said, what are we running for? We're meant to get spiritual powers anyway. So we go, yeah, let's go back and get them. So we're going back now, and I must have said, yeah, let's fly up there. So we just took it, like, just went like that. Like, man could have just rap on his face.
You know what they say, Superman, like, that's what we did, and we started flying, man. So that's spiritual power.
That's right. Someone must have gone, oh, let's just get Edomites. I said, no, I'm going for everyone that's wicked.
That's right. And that's what's going to happen. You see them 2/3?
Everyone.
Don't think about it. When the missile, is it missile or missile? When the missile hit, right? The elite, they're already playing it, like, you know the dumps. You know the
underground
bunkers.
The nuclear
Everything is on there, but Mayweather might be there. If it's not dead before that time, Mayweather, the Jay-Z's, they'll be done with them. And we won't go there and get them. We're going to break them down. You get what I'm saying? So the Edomite and the other nation and the two-third get it.
They're not getting away, man.
They're not getting away. We're going to
And the
get
thing is,
them.
when we was flying, like the people was saying, wow, look at them brothers, they're flying. I know what I was thinking of when I was recounting it was Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. And they shall be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. I'm going back to this place now, to this building, and I went to left for pulse. So I'm flying back up to this building, and I'm letting out a scream, but as I'm getting closer, the scream is getting louder. And when I reach the building, I just said, well, everything dig into this.
Do you know what?
So if I kind of,
I was gonna say this, like adding on to like the dream about the dream thing. Like more than like most of my dreams, I can fly. Most of my dreams, I can jump.
Not a lot of people fly their dreams.
I can fly. And I had this one dream when I was younger that I'll never forget. I was kind of flying across the water, and a big hand just come out the sky and push me back, like push back, and then I wake up. And I never forget that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we the birds, man. With the birds, man. With the spiritual power birds, man. We coming. And the most, and I know them. That's why the movie that they do. Superman is about us. X-Men is about us. Star Wars is about us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I wanted to precept what you said in the dream. So when you was flying, I don't know if I was with you.
No, I didn't know the brothers that were with me, just like a group of
But you was
brothers.
flying. So when you was flying, the people would say, who were they that was flying?
Yeah, guys, no, they was like, bro, look at them brothers, bro, they're flying.
Right.
And
that
they don't see
precept,
no one flying.
what we just brought out, which is Isaiah 60 and 8. Who are those? Who are these that fly as a cloud?
Them brothers were the same thing.
And as the doves to the window.
Right, so the obviously dove to the window might be like the chariots. You know, dove to the window. Chariot up. I want you to bring that 9 and bring the 40, 43. Bring that 9 and bring the 43 as a precept.
So this is the book of Isaiah
49.
chapter 60 and verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish, which means Spain, first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee.
So like a 10.
But before I get to 10, can I just mention something? The ships of Tarshish, when Christopher Columbus left Spain, that's basically a ship leaving Tarshish. So I just wanted to bring that up. Verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
Hey, that's one thing. Excuse me. The one I see me when they say, you can't say excuse me. And the sons of strangers
shall build up thy walls, and their kings.
Who built up this kingdom?
Read it.
So, with the destruction that's coming, you have to build up your kingdom as well?
So they're going to be the one building, especially the Edomite.
What was that? What was that saying?
So the Edomite will have to build out, especially them,
going to be working, man.
because the Ishmaelite, they will do that as well, but they put this to slavery as well.
Hamites.
The Hamite will have to do some sort of work. Moabite, they'll be cleaning out toilet and cleaning. See, everything that is to do with the sewer, everything that is to do with the sewer system, they're going to be.
When they're rehearsing the righteous
They're just not going in the kitchen.
The Cushite women, the Cushite lady, because that's kind of beautiful. The Somalian. I've been seeing them build because from Rwanda. Man, it's a beautiful thing. These one can be in the kitchen. More about them going in the kitchen. So they'll be like, you know, that walls, that's them building out. Now I want you to read that one. You understand how precious, you know, you are precious, man. Don't play with it. No, but I want
This verse. And this is Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 23. And it reads, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers. Oh, sorry.
49 and 23.
And it reads, Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 23. And it reads, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers.
Kings shall be thy nursing fathers, man. What does it mean? What does it mean?
They're rulers.
Kings.
They're rulers. Shall, you know, they shall be our, it says, It's like king shall be thy nurse's father. So no, you know, so where you know, if you go back into history and you'll see that, like, especially the women of our nation, if we looked after a lot of the other nations, breastfeed the heathen babies. Yeah, you know, the heathens will be doing these same things that we did for us, for them, which is balance.
And their queens, thy nursing mothers.
So the queen that nursing mothers, so that women, them Edomite women, they're gonna have to be like the friends to the Bonish, the maids. I don't even think they will get in the yard, but I don't know, man. They might, they'll do that. They'll take care of our children, they'll be the one taking them to wherever. They'll be like,
sorry guys, I enjoy your teaching, you know. I'm from a lot of things that I know, but I got to see my mum, you know what I mean? I got to look after the winter stuff. Alright. You're going to be here next week, God's willing. Thank you.
And I'll take you on top again. Isaiah chapter 23, Isaiah chapter 49, verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth.
and that's just mean that there will be so no one should be subject to total servitude. Not necessarily mean man. You know, that's a big congo. But think about it. After you kiss her, you go back to being a slave. That don't make sense.
The heathens also have to practice what they're going to be doing. That's right. That's why the Most High shows the glory.
You have to hold that back muscle, man.
And lick up the dust of thy feet.
Right, licked up the meaning like they were being shameful because the dust mean when you read Micah 27, I believe talks about Esau being like a snake. When they say you be throwing like a snake and eat dust, I think Esau will be beautiful case, will be ashamed.
Yeah, you know I love Nollywood movies.
Yes.
So what they do in Nollywood, what the girls especially do in Nollywood movies, when they find another girls to shame them, they'll get them on the floor, sit on them, get the dust and put it in their mouth.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It's a Hebrewism.
And also, if you even look at when we were mourning, what did we used to do? Put on sackcloth and put dust on our head.
That's a shame.
Yeah. That's another, you know.
So they'll be ashamed, man. They'll be powerless.
Yeah. No, there was more. Yeah. Shalom. And lick up the dust of thy feet, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, for they shall not be ashamed that waits for me.
That's right. Yeah, well, okay, so that was a big, honestly, you know, it's a very large, very deep topic about the kingdom. Hopefully, maybe next week, we might go deep into it with a lot of precept and bring you like step by step about the 12 tribe, how we get in there, step by step. We can do that next week, no problem, right? But we are governed by time in this dimension. So
Let's read one more from Isaiah 11.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 16 and verse 12. For the nation and kingdom. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall inherit.
It's not even optional. I'm saying it's something they're going to have to do, whether you like it or not. This, with that verse, they let you know that not all nations they'll be in the kingdom, but there's a hierarchy in the kingdom.
Yeah, because someone say, oh, we'll never be in the kingdom. They'll be in the kingdom, but they'll be in the ghettos. You live right in your rider, you will see them in the ghettos. Hey boy, come, stop to work. You're going to pick them up to my
just like the brother saying, of course they're going to be a king. Because any king, you need subjects. I mean, if you're all kings, who are you ruling over?
You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be them two-thirds. They will have they will have like a two-thirds in the kingdom will have like, you know, they have to do much, but there won't be no work. They will have the land they'll have his people named normal. He has his, his monthly allowance, nothing. Even in Libya, before they killed that guy, what's his name? Gaddafi used to do that. Everyone in the kingdom, sometimes you have to do common sense. Now when it comes to the elect, that's a different ball game. Because I have to be in the kingdom, you see that.
Get the full of that.
But let me read it over here. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
And that's Esau.
For this too.
That's Esau, because after 1,000 years of him working for us, we're going to make sure that they don't exist anymore. They'll be the thing of the past. We'll make sure that.
So I'll just say it. The precept for what I just said is called Yahweh Shai. It's the thing that we say to prove that Yahweh Shai was an austere man. So Yahweh Shai told them, those that will not worship, or those who will not
Bring him up and slay them.
before
Yeah, bring your precept then, and then we're gonna close out. They're gonna deal for them. The spirit, they're gonna deal for
Spoiler.
Right. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, and verse 23. And it reads, O Lord, Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. And I'll precept that with Psalm 16 and 9. Oh, sorry, Proverbs. My bad. So that's leading on Psalm.
I thought it's a new one.
Proverbs 16.
16.
Yeah, Proverbs 16 and 9. 1-9.
So that's it. Proverbs
1-6.
A man's heart devises his way, but the Lord Yahweh directeth his steps. And I precept that with Proverbs 16 and 1. The preparation of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahweh. That's right. And I'll end it with Proverbs 20 and 24. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 24. Man's going out of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man understand his own way?
That just lets you know that the Most High is orchestrating everything.
Okay, as we're about to close shortly, for time reasons, some brothers are hungry now.
Don't let me talk on the camera. Just calm down, because you saw something. Me and you saw something that's waiting for you. So let's be good, guys. Before I bring it out.
No, bring out whenever you like. Anyway, this is
Are you sure? If someone watching you in trouble, well, let's go.
Anyway, okay, we're going to read the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. As always, as we're about to finish, this is this whole conclusion of the matter. Everything that we brought out thus to date, and what we should do to inherit that everlasting life and that kingdom that we're all striving for.
That's right.
Oh, shalom, man. It's outrageous. What's up,
I don't know my brother yet.
But you will.
All right. Tell us so they can come back and listen, man. Yeah, bring a stiff-headed one. Yeah, go on.
Right, this is This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13, and it reads, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Fear Yahweh
And keep these commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, every Israelite man, woman, and child." Verse 14,
For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment
with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
And with that, as usual, Israel, we're going to close out. We're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Wahab, Rekah, Kadash.
As always, catch us next week. We out.
Shalom. Yeah.